Before the war, I was just a girl who loved crayons, soup, and the sound of birds. Now, I flinch at thunder, write letters to God, and carry memories I never asked for. Hi, I'm Amina, I'm 12. And if you're hearing this, you've already done something powerful. You've chosen to listen. This isn't just my story. It's the story of every child forced to grow up in a world that forgot how to protect them. Of every voice buried beneath rubble. Of every tear that never got seen. Before we begin, please like and subscribe to Anex Survive Tell. Because when you share a story like this, you keep someone like me alive in memory. Now breathe in, hold my hand, and let me take you back. I used to love the sound of the call to prayer. It reminded me of dinner with my family, hot lentil soup, Mama's soft smile, and Baba's laugh echoing in our small kitchen. We lived in a village near the border of Iran, not too far from the conflict lines. My best friend Layla and I used to chase birds through the narrow paths. She'd say, "If I were a bird, I'd fly far from here." I didn't understand what she meant. Back then, my world was small, but safe. Until it wasn't. It started with fear, rumors, talks of war, then bombs. I remember the first night we heard it, a roar so loud it shook the ground and shattered windows. I screamed. My baby brother cried. Mama held us all in the dark. "It's just thunder," she whispered, but her eyes told the truth. Then came the hunger. No bread, no milk, no aid, no one came. The bakery was bombed. The school turned into rubble. Baba left to find food. He didn't return. 2 weeks passed. Then soldiers came. Not ours, not theirs, just men with guns who took what little we had. Mama traded her wedding ring for a sack of rice. I remember how her hands trembled when she cooked the last handful. One morning, Layla stopped coming to play. I found her sitting alone, eyes swollen. Her father was taken. Her mother had died the week before. She whispered, "Maybe birds don't come here anymore. There's nothing left to fly for." I started writing letters to God. Please bring Baba home. Please let Mama sleep without crying. Please let the war stop. One night, a bomb landed 3 houses away. The force knocked out our walls. Mama shielded my brother and me with her body. She didn't get up after. I was 12, and I buried my mother with my bare hands. We left the village, walking for 3 days. No shoes, no water. My little brother's feet bled. I carried him on my back. Layla followed, her eyes empty. We reached a refugee camp at the border. Crowded, hot, hungry. There, I met someone with a camera. He was from an aid group. He asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "Alive." He cried. That night, they gave us blankets, food, and medicine. But no one gave us our parents back. I'm still here, living in a tent, sharing food with strangers who've become family. My brother draws pictures of Mama. Layla no longer speaks. But every night I tell them stories of our home, of Baba's laugh, of birds, and sometimes we smile. This isn't just about war. It's about children who go to bed hungry, who bury their families, who carry a grief bigger than their age. I don't want pity. I want peace. Days turned into months. We stayed in the camp, counting seconds between meals, nights between nightmares. One morning, a woman came, Fatima, a volunteer from a peace organization. She wore a blue scarf and carried a notebook. She knelt beside me and said, "You have a story the world needs to hear." That day, she gave me crayons and paper. I drew my village, Mama's eyes, and Baba's sandals by the door. I cried over the lines. Fatima sat with us every day. She helped Layla speak again. She taught my brother to smile again. Then she brought news. "There's a resettlement program. You might be moved to a safer place. It's not much, but it's something." The hope felt strange, like stepping into light after too long in the dark. We were taken to a temporary shelter in a small town far from the border. The house had 4 walls and a working fan. It felt like a palace. I cleaned floors for neighbors. Layla helped an old woman with her sewing. We earned enough to buy a stove and make soup that smelled almost like Mama's. One evening, I stood outside and watched birds fly overhead. For the first time, I thought maybe they were coming back. I wrote another letter to God. Thank you for this day. When you've seen war, silence isn't peaceful. It's loud. Too loud. It echoes with everything you've lost. The new shelter was safer. War didn't knock on our doors there. Not in bombs, not in gunfire. But it crept in other ways. In nightmares. In the way my little brother flinched when someone dropped a spoon. In the way Layla still spoke, only in whispers. We had safety, but we were not whole. They registered us for school. A real school. Chalk, books. Uniforms that didn't fit, but felt like armor. I hadn't held a pencil in over a year. My handwriting trembled. My teacher asked me to write an essay. What do you want to be? I stared at the paper. I didn't know how to answer. Part of me still wanted to be nothing. To disappear with the memories. But then I looked at my brother, across the hall, showing his drawing to another boy. He smiled. A real smile. And I wrote, I want to be someone who lives, really lives, even after all of this. One afternoon, a firecracker exploded behind the school. It was someone's birthday. I dropped to the floor, screaming. Layla froze. My brother wet himself in front of the whole class. They didn't laugh. They didn't point. The teacher gently picked us up, walked us home, and sat with us. That night, the headmaster came by. He told us he grew up near the Lebanese border, that he'd buried his father too. He said, you don't have to be okay, you just have to breathe. And we did. Fatima returned with the man and the camera. He asked, would you be willing to speak for a documentary? I hesitated. What if people laugh? I asked. Fatima smiled. And what if one girl like you sees it and doesn't feel alone anymore? That evening, I sat in front of a camera for the first time. I told them about Mama's soup, about Baba's sandals, about the day the sky broke open. And I didn't cry. For once, I told the story like I owned it, like I'd survived it. Because I had. They gave me a journal. I wrote every night. Some entries were messy, some were angry, some were just doodles of birds. But they helped. They made the memories smaller, less scary. Layla began writing too. Poems. Her words were soft but sharp. The war took my voice. But it gave me ink. And I write. Because silence was worse. We shared our poems with the school. People clapped. Some cried. For the first time, I felt seen. Not as a victim, but as a storyteller. Months passed. My brother started school full-time. He draws superheroes now. One wears Mama's headscarf. Layla now reads stories to younger children at the shelter. She wants to become a teacher. And me? I still write letters to God. But now they sound different. Thank you for the sunlight through the broken window. Thank you for the words that didn't die with the bombs. Please keep the birds flying. This isn't just about war. It's about children who go to bed hungry, who bury their families, who carry a grief bigger than their age. I don't want pity. I want peace. Please, share this story. Not for views, not for fame, but because silence kills and stories heal. Subscribe to Anex Survive and Tell. Let these stories be known. Let the world never say, we didn't know.